Welcome, welcome, bienvenido. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. I give thanks for your presence tonight. It is a beautiful rainy night in Florida, and I'm grateful beyond measure to be able to share with you all the knowledge, wisdom, and information about Ananda Lewis. Yeah, we got to continue to share this messenger's powerful teaching that she left us. Even though her spirit left her body last this week on Monday or Tuesday, we are still gonna convey her message, powerful message. Tonight, it's all about Father's Day, right? It's the 15th of June, and it's the value and salvation of a present father. There's nothing like it. There's a scripture in the book of Ezekiel, I believe, that says, um, there is no other Savior but me. And that is the voice of the Most High Creator of the universe in that book saying, there's no other Savior but me. So today, people are looking for another Savior, whether it's the government or their parents, father, but we're going to show you how the role of a present father tonight, how it affects the lives of all of us. So let me welcome, first of all, my tiny house village, because I'm in the village and the village is popping and the village is cool and peaceful. So welcome, tiny house village. Come on in, welcome. And I want to start tonight with some African meditation music that I love to play because the world is in once again active bombing mode. And we need our ancestors, calling on our ancestors again, always, because the insanity, the insanity of the warmongers, the military industrial complex, the Zionists is rising up again. And it's time for us to rise up even higher with our ancestral wisdom. So I'm going to play a little meditation music and say this prayer of the seven galactic directions to get us started on the right note, the right energy level. Seven galactic higher. We got to go higher, brothers and sisters, than these warmongering, satanic psychopaths. We have to go higher. There's no more, now I lay me down and sleep and pray to the Lord my soul. No, that's not good enough. There's no more Jesus help me, Jesus help me. Gotta go higher, gotta go higher. Because these assholes, excuse my French, these people, warmongering psychopaths, are on the run again. And that means we don't have enough collective energy to stop the BS, to stop the war, to bring on peace. So now we go higher, 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 higher. This is just a warning. As the rumors of war and the wars continue, I'm going to turn my air conditioner off because it's just too noisy. And thunder's coming. Yeah, we need to hear the thunder. That's what we need. Thank you. Thunder, come on in. Because the warmongers, they think they have a victory, but not. They're going to be a few souls. There have been and are going to be more souls leaving their bodies in the Middle East and Iran and Israel. And Israel is trying to draw the United States in, and they're playing this game again. They're probably going to have a false flag of some sort that says, "Oh, U.S. needs to go and help Israel fight. No, no, we don't. No, we don't. So that's where we come in, brothers and sisters, with the right meditation, the right energy of love. Um, and somebody says stolen intellect. No apologies needed. Yes, yes, yes. That's right. We ain't apologizing. No apologies. Mama Bonfire, I think that's her. She was here an hour ago, but I think she's back. So let us, I'm going to put on Kaya, beautiful meditation music, and I'm going to say the prayer of the seven galactic directions so we can get this party started on a high, high note. Every party on my YouTube channel has to start on a high note because these people have lost their effing minds again. So here is Kaya, and I will be saying the prayer of the seven galactic directions as we watch this beautiful image of Mother Africa leading and guiding us into the higher and the spiritual place. Brothers and sisters, one second. Hi, hi, Ananda. So, from the release of light and wisdom guiding us to place all prayer. Yes, open all the outer night. How you doing? Oh, Ananda, you have practiced meditation. Right at that's beautiful. But the challenge is you're working with darkness. Yes. My God, my God. But the Lord wants to bless you abundantly. So there are blessings coming from the earth. You're getting wisdom. You know how to work artificial intelligence. That's what the companies and all the authorities are the center of absolute everywhere. Like everything is like everywhere. All hail, harmony, and we say, come in, ancestors. Yes, peace, peace, love, love, joy. So we give thanks. We give thanks for our ancestors. We give thanks for you, the messengers who are here today to change this planet from war to peace. Hallelujah. So happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. I hope you had a beautiful time being present with your loved ones. And this is the man, the ancestor of my father, who's still with me, even though he left his body. Number 7 is always here with me. So Ananda Lewis is still in the house. That woman is still talking to me. So she wants me to share the value and salvation of a present father, because she did not have a present father. And we're talking tonight first about the present father that is the reason we grow up as adults to be healthy and strong, or the reason we grow up and have disease and struggle. Because if you've been with me on my Friday health and well-being show, I've talked about ACEs score, adverse childhood experiences. This was an experiment that was done in Kaiser Medical Center and several other medical places that shows without a doubt that adverse childhood experiences like divorce, like sexual abuse, and more. There's a whole 12 list of it. I'll cover that maybe later. That determine whether you're going to have diseases in your adult life. So Ananda, bless her soul, bless her soul. Thank you, Ananda, for your story, for your journey. Oh my goodness, she is just powerful today to leave us a message. So I want to play a little clip I found after Friday's show. She said, keep searching. She said, keep searching. Okay. So I found a clip about her lifestyle and the relationship with her parents, her mother and father, because that's where it all starts. And at the age of 2, I believe it is, her parents divorced. Okay. So it concerns me because even my grandson at the age of 2, his parents divorced. So I got to watch. He got the signs already that he needs to clear out a lot of emotional trauma from the ACE, adverse childhood experience, from a child at 2 years old. When they go through a divorce, it's stuffed in their subconscious memory sometimes if they are not able to express their emotions. So Ananda, we know, recently passed on from her struggle with breast disease in her right breast. If you missed my Friday show, go back and I explained why it was in her right breast and the hints that she left us, that it had a lot to do with relationship with her father's child. But it goes back even further than that, is what she's trying to tell us now. Goes back to her father, the first relationship with a male person. This is what we all need to think about as we come here to soul purpose healing. Find our purpose and heal the problems in our life that have shown up when we come out the womb, even before the coming out the womb. So let me share this video about her family to start this conversation about fathers and how the relationship, the first relationship we have with our father and mother, is where we begin the challenge. It's where we begin the challenge of managing emotions. And this is Ananda as a child. We think of her as this beautiful adult that she represented for most of us. But listen to this biography about her parents and what happened to her at a very early age that is a sign of adverse childhood experience.
Lewis was born on March 21st, 1973, in Los Angeles, California, to parents Yvonne and Stanley Lewis. Of African American and Native American descent, with roots in the Creek and Blackfoot tribes, her name, meaning bliss in Sanskrit, seemed destined to reflect her radiant spirit. But her early life was far from blissful. When Ananda was just 2 years old, her parents divorced, and her mother relocated with Ananda and her sister, Lakshmi, to San Diego to be closer to their grandmother. This move brought stability but also heartache. When Yvonne took an extended trip to Europe to heal from her failed marriage, Ananda and Lakshmi were left in their grandmother's care. For young Ananda, this felt like abandonment, a wound that lingered into her teenage years. She often clashed with her mother and rarely saw her father, who had remarried. Adding to her struggles, Ananda battled a speech impediment, stuttering until she was
Okay, so um, her early adverse childhood experience was divorce at the age of two. Mama, love mama, decided that she couldn't. The emotions of her divorce drove her to go to her grandma's, her mother's, her grand or Nadia's grandmother's in San Diego. Daddy, out of the picture, out of the picture, gone. 2 years old, no more daddy. So Ananda was raised pretty much by her grandmother because guess what? Mama flew over to Europe and disappeared. So abandonment is part of the adverse childhood experience challenges that will contribute to adult diseases if they are not processed. And that's where most of us as adults get into trouble or challenge emotional intelligence because we don't talk about the emotions that a child goes through when their parents divorce, when their mother leaves them. Oh, honey, it'll be okay. And I remember even with my parents' divorce, I wasn't two, but I was more like 10 years old, 11, and I was really sad. And I stuffed it because my mother was drinking alcohol at that time. And I didn't understand. I didn't know what was going on, but I just felt sad. My father, though, was never absent. He was very present in my life, even after their divorce. In fact, he lived across the street from my elementary school. And I was able sometimes to go over there and say, Daddy, I need some money. He said, okay, but don't come over here and bother me with my money. But he was always present in my life. No matter what my mother was doing, my dad was always present. We were in the YMCA, my sisters and I, Daddy was paying for, and Daddy paid for everything because my mother never worked until I was a grown up, an adult. So this is a present father here for me. And I would say that's one of the reasons I haven't been diagnosed with any major disease. And I have been able to go through a divorce after 30 some years with no serious issues. It was like, it's time to separate. Let's go. And the universe guided me, my ancestors guided me to manage emotions by reading books. Oh my goodness. I credit books in my life that help me manage emotional traumas and challenges. Ananda, on the other hand, her first emotional trauma challenge was her father and mother leaving her. So this woman grew up to be a superstar because usually when children experience that abandonment, they focus on being successful because one of the things that goes through the mind of a child at that age is, what's wrong with me? What did I do wrong? Was I the cause of mommy and daddy leaving me? So a child, if that's not a process, then they're going to do overtime work and dedication and focus to be their best. And that's what Ananda did. She was the best at what she did. And then she had men in her life, and she went through stress being a success on TV show and all that. And she had a life of alcohol and drinking and all that. And she realized that's not. So she went through men too. There are lots of things on the internet, YouTube, that tell us the relationships that she had in her young life. And then she had a child. She has a child with a man that I said yesterday, I quoted her saying her major stress was ending a 10-year relationship with the man I loved and my son's father. So Ananda struggled with right side breast disease from a broken relationship, But I'm sharing today to you. I think it was broken at 2 years old, and that's what she wants us to remember, that every child that experiences those ACEs, adverse childhood experiences that don't get resolved, they're gonna keep it, hold on to it, and it just keeps getting triggered. If more men are rejecting you, and you already had daddy at 2 years old rejecting you, wasn't present. So the present father, rejection, rejection. You feel that rejection the rest of your life. Every time a man comes and goes, that rejection creeps up. Ugh, that doesn't feel good. So I'm going to drink, I'm going to smoke, I'm going to do whatever I can to suppress the pain. By the way, I was talking to a friend. I digress a little. Donuts are the best food drug for emotional pain. I'm convinced of that. My granddaughter had yesterday was her birthday, and I go over there, and in the kitchen was a box full of donuts, and I'm like, oh, we're doing that today, yay, it's birthday. So we had celebrated all day. We had a great time at the go-kart facility. But when I saw the donuts, I'm like, okay, that is the one of the best treats that we can have. But donuts, factually, are, I would say, the number one food drug for emotional pain. You get such a high, depending on how good those donuts are made, you're going to get such a good high from eating a donut. And if they got that icing on top of it and all that good stuff, chocolate, whatever, that flour and sugar combination is like cocaine for some people. And then throw in some good hot chocolate or whatever. Emotional pain goes away. So when we went to the go-kart play, my granddaughter was saying her throat hurts. She didn't feel good. Donut morning. This is what happened, but she got over it. And then later on, the next morning, this morning, my son was telling me, oh, he had a sore throat. He had congestion. Something was going on. I'm like, and he's like trying to clean up the air in his place to compensate, to uncover or heal the sore throat and the congestion and all that. And I'm like, you had donuts for breakfast yesterday. Oh, don't talk about the donuts. Don't talk about the donuts. I had, I need to stay in my lane and mind my own business. So anyway, I digressed a little because Ananda was so diligent and so purpose filled to heal her body that she tried every alternative you could think of to heal. She also did the traditional chemo. She did a little of the chemo, and I don't think she wanted to lose that gorgeous hair. So that's why we didn't see. She didn't choose to go full on chemotherapy. Plus, her mom. I just realized something. Her mom had cancer, breast cancer. Whoopsie, divorcee. That's what may have triggered mom's breast cancer as well, is the divorce, that she was so devastated she had to desert her children and move to Europe. And then when she came back, evidently she had to deal with she may not have dealt with that rejection of divorce, because Ananda's father married again, but she didn't see him. So fathers, women, mothers. We want to understand the salvation of a present father, because when a father is present in your life, especially from the beginning, that's your salvation for the rest of your life. Because if your father is healthy, that is the beginning of emotional intelligence on the father's direction in helping you overcome everything and anything. As I said, if he's healthy. If you got an alcoholic father who's not present, he's not there, that's not a present father. But if your father, when the father is present, this man didn't drink alcohol, nothing. He was always there when we needed him, always there. He paid alimony to my mother till the day of her death. That's because she never really got a job. She never remarried. So he had to pay. He fulfilled his contract with her. Even after the divorce, he paid her alimony. This is a present man, present father here. Ananda did not have that gift, but Ananda is a teacher of a different sort. She's leaving us a lesson about dis-ease from not having a present father. See, this man was kind of my salvation because every step of my journey, when I incurred or ran into conflicts with men, guess who I called? This guy. Yep, I was calling him for a long time. Even when my husband and I weren't getting along, called daddy, telling him what was going on. He said, well, you all are just unequally yoked. And I was like, and I knew what that meant in the Bible, the biblical term, unequally yoked. Yeah. And I learned that with other men in my life too. And I was like, man, I guess it's time to go. I'm not gonna put up with unequally yoked because you're like two. And if you were thinking about being yoked to a cow, how cows are yoked when they're moving a wagon or something. If you're unequally yoked, somebody's gonna break a neck and get hurt, right? Hurt, pain happens. So I learned throughout, I wouldn't say early, but throughout my journey, as my dad would point out, unequally yoked. Yeah, I would think about that all the time when something didn't go right. I'm like, maybe we're unequal yoked. Oh, let's try something else. Ananda is the teacher of the week, if not the month, about not only misunderstanding the unequally yoked relationship, but maybe I'm suggesting not processing her broken relationship with her father, who was not present, physically or any other way. So there's a value in that. So I'm going to shift over now to our current global father, Ibrahim Traore. This man is being talked about so much that we need to pay attention to the role that not only he played, but there's a history that I'm going to share with you about Patrice Lumumba. This is African history that we don't want to forget because we're going to talk, it has a lot to do with the chaos we find ourselves in because we don't have present fathers. That's one. And what's happening to the present fathers? They're killing them. That's what's happening. Let's look at a history of why Patrice Lumumba was assassinated. We missed out on having not only a leader, but a father in our lives from Africa that could have taught us a lot about global conflicts, global disappointments, abandonment, all that. But the powers that be, which are raising their ugly heads now for war, they have been killing our fathers and leaders and destroying them. Why? Through war. And we could say war not just over there and over here and over there, but in here. They have been destroying the soul of men by promoting these battles. That who is profiting from these battles? Not us. So let us first of all take a look at why Patrice Lumumba. If you don't, you might be too young, but just pay attention to a quick history lesson on the fall of the Republic of Congo and why Patrice Lumumba was assassinated, because these people are evil, evil, evil. Let's pay attention to this story about Patrice Lumumba.
More mineral resources than most nations on the earth, DR Congo is Africa's real-life Wakanda. As a result, Belgian colonial rulers never wanted to leave the country, leading to a strong struggle for independence throughout the late 50s. One man at the forefront of those struggles was Patrice Lumumba, whose impassioned speeches and calls for self-determination inspired many. So when Congo became independent in 1960, he was elected the first prime minister in June 1960. However, Lumumba's tenure was short-lived, marked by political turmoil and external interference. Tragically, Lumumba's leadership was cut short by a military coup in September 1960, orchestrated with the support of foreign interests. He was subsequently arrested, tortured, and executed in January 1961, sparking outrage and condemnation worldwide. Possessing more mineral resources than most nations on the earth, DR Congo is Africa's real-life Wakanda. As a result, Belgian colonial rulers never wanted to leave the country, leading to a strong struggle for independence.
Now, Belgian colonial rulers. Who are they? Well, there's a country over there called Belgium, Western Europe. Who's running Belgium? Let me think about it. You might just say Europeans are running it, but I'm gonna suggest, this is a suggestion, my suggestion, that we got a lot of Khazarian Zionists been over there for a while. Because the Khazarian Zionists have been ruthlessly taking over countries and places for ages, ages, ages. And that's who's over there in Israel right now. The Khazarian Zionists are running things with Satan Yahoo, and we are now watching a new show, a new theater production called Let's Bomb Iran. No, let's bomb Tel Aviv. Let's bomb them. This show is like, it's too old. We need to stop it. How do we stop it? Raising our consciousness. It's up to individuals to raise their consciousness and stop this tragic satanic activity, because now more of my sisters and brothers in Iran are going to die. Oh, dear. They're still back and forth. And then Satan Yahoo is trying to get us involved. Guess what? There's probably going to be something happen. Oh, the U.S. has to send soldiers over there now. Blah, 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 blah. This is what we don't want to happen. We're going to pray it doesn't happen. But the only way it's not going to happen is we raise our consciousness collectively, individually first. So there's one person who is protecting Ibrahim Traore, because Abraham Traore is the energy, the spirit in Africa that's doing what Patrice Lumumba couldn't do. Because the Belgian Zionist Khazarian, I'm just going to say that's probably who they were, because that's how they are. Ruthless murderers. That's what they are. And I said it, yeah. So we have to be very conscious these days what's going on over there, because it's going to affect us if we don't raise our consciousness. This is what it's all about. And so there's a man called P.L.O. Lumumba. He's named after Patrice Lumumba. And he is fearless. And he's going to share with us why the West, that's us and Europe and some of them other crazies, why are they trying to kill Ibrahim Traore, who's our current Patrice Lumumba? He's the current the warrior, maybe savior, who's rising up to give Africa their independence back and save us all from these Zionist warriors. So let's listen to P.L. Lumumba, who's, again, he's named after Patrice Lumumba, on why we got these Western colonializers trying to get rid of Ibrahim. What's going on here? We all need to be very aware what's going on, because as I said, they're going to try and drag us into this war. That means your brothers, sisters, whoever is going to be dragged over there. We got to stop it by educating ourselves about history and what is going on. So I'm not protesting. I'm just going to raise my consciousness so this energy will penetrate the Washington and anywhere else. So here we go. P.L.O. Lumumba's fearless speech, why the West wants Ibrahim Traore eliminated.
And I'm suggesting that part of our crisis is not only the colonial, but the post-colonial. And as I speak now, what is undermining our development is that there is a new scramble for Africa. The new scramble for Africa is a little bit more different. It is not, they will allow us to have our leaders. We'll elect our presidents. We'll elect our governors. We'll have our ministers. That will happen, but they are not bothered. After we have elected them, you'll then see them sending their arrows ahead. You'll see Bill Gates come and meet your president. You'll see Tony Blair come and meet your president. You'll see Macron come and meet your president. You'll see all of them. And then they will never admit, but they'll be told, if you want money in agriculture, behave this way. If you want money in this area, behave this way. They will never tell that to the Chinese. They will never tell that to the Indians. They will never tell that to the Vietnamese. They will never tell that to the Koreans, but in Africa, they tell us. That is why, as I speak to you now, under this new scramble, the IMF and the World Bank are back, telling you who to hire in your universities, what to sell and what not to sell. It is a sad situation. So today, as I look at Africa in that new scramble, the Chinese are here. I hope that this institution was not built by the Chinese. The Turks are here. The British are here. The French are here. The Qataris are here. The Americans are here. This time round, they are so subtle that we don't even recognize them, but they control us. What are we going to do about it in order to develop? We must do something. And if we don't do that thing else, you who have been trained in this institution, you have traveled the world. You have traveled Nigeria. There are two things that you can do with your traveling. You can marvel. Says it is great in China. You can marvel. You can wonder or feel pain. I'm urging you to feel pain. To feel pain for the continent of Africa, and in your own way, when you go out there, go and do something about it, because it has also been demonstrated that it can be done. I've traveled across this continent and I've seen that development is possible. I was in Rwanda before 1994. I was in Rwanda in 1996. Genocide. 1 million dead. Its obituary written. Will never rise, they said. You go to Rwanda now. They are demonstrating that it can be done. Go to Kigali now. See what they are doing in the health sector in their own small way. See how they are collaborating in the area of mobile telephony in their own small way. It can be done. I've been to Botswana and I've seen what they are doing in their own small way. I've been to Mauritius, see what they are doing in their own small way. And they do not have the resources that other countries have. They do not have the resources that the Democratic Republic of Congo has. And I'm giving this example to say that indeed it can be done, and it can be done within the continent of Africa. So what we must do is to begin to pull together,
He's talking about us, brothers and sisters. Yes, all of us, whether white, black, in the United States, if you're conscious, can we pull together to break up the colonial power?
As I've been sitting and listening, I was also struggling to have internet in this room. And every effort was being made to connect me to internet. And all those efforts failed. Why? Because we are in an era of the Internet of Things. We are in an era of nanotechnology. It cannot be right that in Africa's largest economy, in Nigeria, I do not have internet at an institution that deals with security. You get the point that I'm trying to make? It cannot be right. And I know why we don't have internet connectivity. It is because we are divided. We have 55 telephone access codes Nigeria 234, Ghana 233, Kenya 254, Tanzania 255, Uganda 256, Zambia 260, Zimbabwe 263. How can we, in this day and age, you cross into Benin, you cross into Togo, you cross into Guinea-Bissau, you have a different internet connectivity. Why can't Africa have a single satellite and a single telephone code so that when I travel from Mogadishu in Somalia to Dhaka in Senegal, like the Chinese do?
So, as we can see, even in Africa, they have some of the same challenges. So this is a man I look at as a father for us too. His wisdom and his articulation is so good. I'm going to try and speed it up a little to get to the next section of Abraham.
The arts and the culture are covered so that Africa can become a serious player in the international agenda. As we speak now, do I talk about industrialization? There are scientists here. It is only through industrialization that we are going to be manufacturers in all sectors, as it is by telling you that Africa must be very careful. We must be very careful because of lack of resources in Africa. I'm beginning to hear things that worry me. And because I'm a keen student of what is happening in Africa, I'm getting worried on a daily basis. The forces that divide us, the belief by many people in Africa that if we separated from our current countries, we would be better. It is beginning to happen. It is happening here in Nigeria. We will separate, and that will make us weaker. And I'm saying this because of this thing we call democracy. Democracy demands that people have a sense of belonging and that they believe that the country in which they live represents their interests and that deliberate efforts are being made in that regard. So, fellow Africans, I'm one who believes that this continent has a contribution to make. There is not a continent today, nearly 1/3. The rivers are drying. The climate is changing. The Sahara is coming down, that we have the possibilities, and that these possibilities require and demand that we look at Africa as a total whole. Go out there in your little ways and make your contribution. The 78 of you who are graduating here today, I'm suggesting to you that development must start with you. Go back. If you can't do it for yourself, ask yourself which Nigeria you want to bequeath to your children and your children's children. You are here maximum 40 years, you will have gone up.
So I don't know why he is not mentioning about Ibrahim Traore, but what he was talking about in another speech, I'll see if is why why are they trying to assassinate Ibrahim Traore? Ibrahim Traore, like Lumumba, has children, and he has been given the role of not just being a father. I think when a father is not present and they have a bigger role to play, then those children will inherit a huge legacy. And that we can observe these fathers with this bigger role. I mean, look at Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. These were all fathers, but they had a much bigger role to teach us about politics, about evil in the world, about being a leader that wants to bring change, and what happens with people observing your leadership and then wanting to destroy you, especially the Khazarian. I can't say that name enough. These are the entities that are trying to destroy our fathers. So let me take a few comments here. Zelda is in the house. Zelda speaks. She says, raising our consciousness begins right here, right now, to those who tune in. Sharing is caring. We need to share the message of unity. And Dr. Mama AZ Bonfire says, Dr. V, he is so on point. This is a direct, a bigger 10-4 wise medicine wisdoms. Yes, thank you. And I got distracted. I got directed to Africa for some reason because there's so much going on in Africa, just as there's a lot going on here. But the protests in America, to me, is all about division. I don't see it. There's no unity in it. I was having on a comment today earlier. She was saying, well, everyone who's protesting is protesting for peace and freedom. And I'm seeing reports that people are being paid to protest for $200. They don't give a hoot about peace and freedom. They just want the money. So in America, we have a different battle going on, where the discomforted, the people who are not happy, I say, the angry people, the sad people, those who are not content, the discontented, are ready to protest anything this president does, anything. And those who are content, like myself, I'm just want to do what I was called to do here, and that's stay in my lane and mind my own business. And I want to encourage all of us tonight to mind your own business. Stop worrying about Washington, D.C., because the only difference we can make is to raise our own consciousness, heal our energy, as Ananda has brought to us today. The value of salvation is with a present Father. So we have the job, especially elders, to really encourage our men to be present. If we don't want to see a worsening of the community that's already off the chain right now, these young people, I don't know what happened with a lot of these young people who are twerking and twittering and doing everything in the streets. The parents were missing in action. There were no present fathers, because there was no way, with a father like this in the house, there's no way there'd be any twitching and twerking and whatever they're doing in the streets these days. It's like they don't have parents. These young people didn't have parents who were whipping their behinds or doing, excuse me, I know some people don't want, that's violent behavior toward children, but I'm saying the ones who got their butts whipped in my generation, they're doing, their attorneys, or they're doing their they are more disciplined. And they may have had their rebellious times, but there was nothing like what we're seeing today on TikTok and on social media with these young people. There's the other side where a lot of young people are doing some great things, and they're really impressive, disciplined young people. But it's kind of scary to see the mental illness out there with some of our young people. So we want to encourage you tonight to be minding your own business. Minding your own business. Instead of going out thinking you're gonna protest what this country is doing. I'm trying to find that speech, Ibrahim Traore. Africa will rise. Okay, let's. Okay, I'm going to share this video with you because I'm going to share this video with you real quick P.L. Lumumba. Again, Lumumba was named after Patrice Lumumba, and he is really a courageous voice about protecting Ibrahim Traore and fighting for the independence of Africa and kicking out the colonials. I'm going to play a little bit
from the colonial masters. There is a sense, therefore, in which these individuals started recognizing that having been enslaved, having been colonized, we now had to liberate ourselves. And the agitation started. And Kwame Nkrumah and his Ghana acquired independence in 1957. And I still can hear Kwame Nkrumah through the vicissitudes of time saying in Accra, Ghana, that Ghana is free and will never be colonized again. But the freedom of Ghana means nothing if the rest of Africa is not free. I can hear Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere saying that he's prepared to delay the independence of Tanganyika so that Tanganyika can.
Okay, so there's more speech about colonialism and Africa and why they're trying to get rid of Ibrahim Traore, because they want those resources. I'm going to say the United States and France have been getting extremely wealthy off the resources of Africa. So the fathers who are present in Africa are being killed just as the fathers in the America are being killed with drugs and all sorts of weapons. And if this war continues and escalates and the Israeli Khazarian mafia tries to drag the United States into it, we're going to have more Americans killed as well. So we've got a comment here, let's see, from Francis says, I don't believe folks were paid $200 to show up to demonstrations. Republicans propaganda. Well, Francis, thank you for your comment. I saw at least 3 videos of people being interviewed at these protests. And they were asked, why are you here? And they're like, I don't really know. I was paid $200. They're like, whoa, okay. So I'd like to ask all of you, do you think all these signs that people are holding up were they created and made these signs with their own money? Hello? Let's be real about this. What's going on? Okay. All over. There was a map. Someone sent me, my friend Stephanie, who's very on top of all this stuff, propaganda, whatever. She's not in the propaganda stuff at all. She's very active about truth. Now, she sends me all kinds. Someone else sent me a map on Telegram, a map of all the places in the United States where there were going to be protests. It's everywhere. They were everywhere, from New York to Seattle, Utah, whatever. Who do you think's paying for these signs? I'd like to ask you, Francis, who do you think's paying for these signs? I saw a video just today where senior citizens, it's a video, it wasn't AI, it was a video of senior citizens coming out of a building with the gold king hat on and with professionally made signs about the protests. Whatever it said, Trump, hate Trump, whatever. Who's paying for this? People are not even thinking. If you think the average person is going to spend their money when we're all struggling to meet ends meet, and yet they're going to spend money. These weren't crayon written signs. These were printed signs that people are holding all over the country. Who do you think's paying for this? Let's not be naive. There's a deep state that, and I'll tell you who's behind the deep state. How about the military industrial complex? Because part of the reason that we're looking at this escalation of a war is because Trump was resisting. He wanted to use diplomacy, at least part, that's Act 1. Act 2 is something wholly different. It's going to be something different. He wanted to use diplomacy and not have this war, so he said. But it escalated. Israel threw some bombs over there anyway. So now it's back and forth, back and forth. Tel Aviv. I saw a video. I don't know if it's real. Yeah, I know it's real because the person on YouTube who was showing it, legitimate. There are bombs flying into Tel Aviv. Now I was over in Tel Aviv. Oh my goodness, that place is like New York City. You got tall buildings. Hilton Hotel in Tel Aviv. I stayed at this fabulous hotel in Tel Aviv. They're now bombing Tel Aviv. So next, what's going to happen next? Russia is backing Iran. Okay, so the military industrial complex, along with the deep state of Biden, Obama, whoever else is involved in all that, and all the liberals who want the war to go on, and all the Jews, and all, not, I won't say Jews because I know some really beautiful Jewish people. I'm not going to say they're involved. Zionists, the Khazarian mafia Zionists are involved in this. They're the military industrial complex. We got right here in Orlando, we got Lockheed Martin is the number one military contractor in the world, right here in Orlando area. They just expanded their territory. For many years, I've been in or Florida for almost 40 years. For the first 10 years or so, they had this little bitty building. Lockheed Martin, it was Martin Marietta. Then they changed it to Lockheed Martin, Martin Marietta. And now I drove over there because I haven't lived in that area. I drove over there. Oh my goodness, they have taken over like probably 2 or 3 acres now. They got bigger buildings. This is the military industrial They're the ones creating bombs and airplanes, bomb droppers and all that. They're expanding. You think they're expanding so they can stop the wars? No. So we're looking at protester is fatally shot at No Kings rally in Salt Lake City. Again, I'm getting a message. Police say. So you're going to see all kinds of confusion about the protests. I did. Francis says send the links where demons liars claim. I don't know. Francis, it was more than one video. I'm trying to share with you what I observed as truth, because it was more than one video. They weren't liars. Francis, I'm guessing, Francis, you're supporting the protests for peace and freedom. Okay. And I'm just saying, I'm suggesting tonight, everybody stay in your lane and mind your own business. Do not go out protesting, because it's all a game they're playing. It's all in my opinion, it's all the deep state liberals, and maybe some Republicans, because they're same wing, same bird, different with no wings. They're all the same. Some of anybody who's warmongering, they want these protests out there. And anybody who doesn't like the chaos, revealing the corruption in the government, the corruption in the government. Now, Francis says murderous Republicans. So we're going to leave out the Democrats? The Democrats have been voting for war for Israel for ages, for the last 20 years, as far as I've been observing. We can't say this. See, this is the division, Francis, we don't want anymore. Let's not call murderous Republicans and call the Democrats saints. Hell no. They're all corrupt. Let's get one thing straight. Washington, D.C. is full of corruption. Doesn't matter what party they're in. They're all corrupt. Because I've only seen one senator admit that he's not taking money from AIP. That's the Jewish lobbyists, the Zionist lobbyists. I've only seen one. All the people in Washington, pretty much 99% of them are taking money from AIPAC, which is the Zionist lobbyists that is promoting war against anybody. So let's not call the Republicans murderous. Let's not call the Democrats murderous. We just got corruption, period. And that's what I think the beauty of having Elon Musk show up for a season, and he's gone now, is revealing some of the corruption. He didn't reveal all of it. He ain't revealing all of it. He just revealed a smidgen of it. There's still a lot of people who, for instance, were supporting Ukraine. Do you know all the money laundering that was going on in Ukraine? and coming back to senators and Republican and murder Democrat, any of them in Washington D.C. money in the pocket, all that money, that our tax money that we thought was going to help the Ukrainians who are child trafficking over there and are doing all kind of crazy stuff, and we're saying, oh, we got to help Ukraine, blah 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 blah. Well, here's the reality, brothers and sisters. Ananda, yes. Alchemist Gold Mine says, yes, Ananda. Ananda is the messenger of the week. Thank you, Alchemistic Gold Mine. She's the messenger that's helping us understand the value and salvation of a present father. And I'm trying to, the reason we're on the war, because they want to kill our fathers. Our fathers are young, and our young fathers are the ones we elders need to be tutoring and talking to about becoming present. Because like Ananda's journey was very difficult and ended in her leaving the earth at 52. That's a 7. I think Brother Eddie might have some numbers for us tonight. But Ananda left on 52. And Eddie says, you truly become conscious once you truly become grounded. Conscious is a 7, grounded is a 7. Exactly. Minding our own business, get grounded. Are you walking barefoot on the earth to raise your vibration so that we don't have a lot of protesters walking around with crazy ideas about how they're going to change this government? You ain't going to do it. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen because it's too big on that level. If you're thinking of changing on the 3rd dimensional level, protest, let's protest, yay, let's protest. It's not going to happen because the big problem is spiritual. It's a spiritual battle we're in. And what happens when we all raise our vibration, thank you, consciousness, grounding, raising the frequency in this sacred vessel, then the energy will go out across the land and change the minds of these mentally ill people who want to cut off their organs and tissues and become another sex. We got all these people, 99% aren't receiving kickbacks from AIPAC and Republican. Francis, I don't know. What are you drinking tonight, Francis? I don't know what you're drinking, but stop. Please stop. Because I've done the research. One person I saw over the last 2 or 3 years, I've been looking for people who are not receiving kickbacks, and Republicans are not the worst. Democrats, liberals are just as bad. So this is the division we have to stop, Francis, and realize corruption is running Washington, D.C., and we as a people, as souls, conscious individuals, have to raise our vibration, mind our own business, because that business is corrupt. And the Zionist Khazarian mafia are running the war machine, and it's revved up now. And Russia, this is what I wanted to say, Russia is on the side of Iran. So what do you think is going to happen? If Israel is saying, bomb, 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 baby, bomb, 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 and they said, U.S., you need to help us because we Zionists are in control. Russia's going to come into the picture. We're going to have explosion on every level. And the tension will rise even in America. I, for one, am going to keep promoting compassion. Zelda says, Francis, put the glass down, or did you have a gummy? I'm wondering what Francis is drinking over there or doing, because Francis, get in line. Harmony. This is why I just played those African leaders talking about to get the continent of Africa in independence and freedom, they have to free themselves from the colonial rule. Here in America, we have to free our minds from the colonial rule that we can choose sides. The Republicans are better. No, the Democrats are better. That's called divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. They're both bad. There's no, the party system is broken. The party system is dysfunctional. It's like having a family that's so dysfunctional that the Father is not present. So we're right back to the value and salvation of a present Father. If we don't have unity in the family, there's no salvation by the present Father who is needed to lead the family. So let us say let us say as elders and young people who are conscious, our job going forward is to not only consider the galactic prayer of the seven directions, take your knowledge to another level, but let us say that we are the solution to the warmongering, and it has to start in our body. We have to clear the warmongering energy in our own bodies and have peace in our bodies. And that means love. Fly, 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 fly. First, love yourself. Get all that contradict. Get all the donuts out. Oh my goodness, I just couldn't believe the donuts. They're the best. They're the best emotional pain food on the planet. And yet, right away, the body is at war when you're eating donuts. I saw it demonstrated in my family just today and yesterday. The body's at war, meaning the throat is sore. Oh, your throat's sore. Why would your throat? Well, it's because all this bad air out here. Oh, you didn't put any donuts in your body, did you? That's the worst toxic food on the planet. And people are saying, well, it wasn't the donut. It's just because the air is bad. Whatever. I have to deal with it. That's why I have to keep reminding myself. My dad reminds me. Ananda is reminding me. Stay in your lane, Beata, and mind your own business, like she did. Ananda was minding her own business because she knew that her departure was coming soon, and she demonstrated for us that you can do alternative therapies, you can do chemo, which she did, you can do radiation, which she did, a little of all. But that long, beautiful hair, she didn't want to lose that long, beautiful hair. So she put the chemo aside for a while. And she concentrated on out here, out here. Everything is a problem out here. So I'm going to change my diet and do all that. But she didn't go deep enough. Ananda didn't go deep enough to the childhood, inner child conflict. This is the sum of the value and salvation of a present Father. Ananda, we love you. I thank you, Ananda, for your life and your message for us tonight. Go deeper. Go deeper. When you have any dis-ease, you going to the doctor. You going to the doctor every month? Are you going to the doctor every week? That's not the solution. Hello. The doctor's going to have more drugs for you, more radiation, chemo. This is Ananda's message. Thank you, Ananda. But if you don't get to the root of it, the childhood, the inner child conflict, this is what Ananda missed. The inner child conflict. Mommy and daddy left me at 2 years old, and they didn't help me get over that emotional trauma. So I grew up, and I had to deal with all these men who were leaving me. And then the last one who left me, who I love, my son's father, and she never dealt with that inner child conflict. And that takes work. It takes inner work. Doesn't take a doctor. Doctor's not going to help you. Most MDs don't have a clue about inner child conflict. So put the doctor out of your life and try and work on getting you healed physically, mentally, and emotionally, and spiritually. It's all about a spiritual healing at this point. In the house, Mama AZ is talking about, you are on point, Dr. B. We must stay in touch with our own spirit in our house. This is the message from Ananda, folks. I'm saying, she's been talking to me for the last 3 or 4 days. That's why I had to bring this value and salvation of a present Father, which she didn't have. So it's time to do the inner work. And I'm saying, if you're trusting your doctors, like she wasn't trusting her doctors because she had a more powerful message to bring us about the inner child. She didn't need a doctor. She needed therapy on a meditative, higher transcendental meditation level, birthing, rebirthing, all that Dr. Sosa on my Friday. If you missed Friday's show, go back and listen to what Dr. Sosa was saying on Friday about the many healing therapies for the inner child. And how do you know you haven't healed the inner child? You're being triggered all the time by bullshit. It's like bullshit. Ah! Why'd you say that to me? Ah! Oh, why are you so mean to me? Oh, that's your inner child. We are working on it. I'm working on it too. Responding to all the triggers with, first of all, deep breathing. Something hits you, somebody said something, something happens, you're like, oh, I don't like that. I'm going to get angry. I'm mad. Okay, pause, deep breath. Why am I so angry? That's the question we ask. And maybe it's because you didn't have a present father. That's how deep it may have to go. Where's your father? Where's your father? Is he still absent in your life? That inner child is still crying because you didn't have a present father. So many adults are at this place where their inner child is wounded and they're still crying, like Ananda. And she couldn't get over that breast dis-ease because her inner child never got soothed and healed. But the salvation comes because as a healthy father in your life, they will save you from the suffering that Ananda had to go through because she didn't have the peace. She did not have the peace of mind and the peace of emotional intelligence that fathers give us when they're present. So we say Happy Father's Day, but more than that, to our youth, to our children who are still childbearing age, let's not open the legs unless you're gonna have you're gonna have a present father. That means you don't maybe not even have sex until you find the healed male person, and the healed female person for that matter. Okay, brother Eddie said he's got to lay down his blood sugar drop. Can't share anything. Okay, we send love, love, love to brother Eddie Harris. Energy of love, healing, strength, love, 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 strength, energy, healing. That's another present father who was also sent off or admitted to the war mind, the training of war mind. We're now in the psyche and the consciousness that war is revving up again. So we give thanks to all our soldiers who committed to being trained by the United States government. And I for one, when Trump had a march with all the military, I guess to celebrate. I'm thankful that those men were honored. Forget about Trump. But the men who committed to serve in the United States military should be honored and should be respected. Because our government does what it does, but the people who are serving in the military were only doing what they knew to do. And if they knew better, they wouldn't have done that. And then we have, let's see. It's Zelda said, deep breathing does the best trick ever. Please try it. Everybody should be, if you've been following this show, everybody should be using deep breathing as the number one tool to manage your stress load. Number one tool, manage deep breathing. And you do it until the stress changes. And that's your worship of your internal organs that will calm you down. Kwame Sunhorse is in the house. He says, it's the mother's blood and the father's spirit that make a human. So what happens with, thank you, Brother Kwame. What happens with people like Ananda, she missed her father's humanity. When the father's not present, that humanity energy, that male energy, that testosterone energy, that helps her be whole. There's a wholeness that comes with the mother's input, the father's input, and then that child from birth on is whole. Ananda, unfortunately, was broken. because the father left and the mother left. Actually, both of them left and put her with the grandma. Grandma said, okay, I'm saying, but they can't replace the father and mother energy. And it's all about energy. We're in an energetic, um, we're in an energetic phase of paradigm shifting where chaos is so powerful right now in this country and now in the Middle East. Chaos everywhere. And so this is the shift of the paradigm that we have to go through if we're going to get to the fifth dimension, fourth and fifth dimension, where we don't have this chaos. So that's why stay in your lane, mind your own business, not the government's business. That corruption, when you get involved with what the government is trying to do or not do, you're going to get that corruption energy intermingling with your business of peace and race consciousness. So don't be protest. I'm just advising, stop the protest. Yeah, somebody said, I think friends said, what about Martin Luther King? Well, that was in that day. We're in 2025. What good did the protesting back in Martin Luther King's day do? Let's just say what you're saying. MLK marches were ineffective. I'm on consecrate. Okay, so Martin Luther King's peace marches had a purpose in the 60s and in the 60s. Okay, they had a purpose. We're in 2025 where AI is taking over. And the military industrial complex is more energized than ever. So MLK's peace marches, they were effective in the 60s. Are they effective? Would they be effective today? I don't think so. Because now we are fully aware of a spiritual battle. It's a spiritual battle. MLK was not doing spiritual battle back then. He was doing physical, out on the street, get yourself known, bus boycott, blah, 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 blah. And here we are, military complex trying to do their thing again. And the government is more corrupt than ever. And I still say AIPAC is running the show in Washington, D.C. So here's where we are. Let us take a deep breath. We give thanks to all the fathers out there who need a hug and who are loving their children, even as adults who are trying to develop a better relationship. And Kwame says, King opened the door from Jim Crow. And my father went through Jim Crow, but he got out. He just took a train to Chicago, and it didn't change the conflicts in his life, but he had new challenges in Chicago. Cold weather, all that. There's always a challenge. But when you're with the Most High, as he was, your challenges become opportunities for psychological adjustments, psychology of adjustments, and conflict resolution. These are the skills we're learning as beings on this earth, conflict resolution. Alchemist says all electric sources must have two poles, magnetic equal woman, electric equal man, to create in harmony or destroy in conflict. Now she's talking about, is that she, he, Alchemist, talking about the energy that Ananda had to deal with by having both of her parents abandon her. Ananda is the messenger, and Alchemistic says the electric sources, that's us, we're electric, all electric energy beings, has have two pole, magnetic women, electric, to create in harmony or destroy. So the conflict, the emotional conflict for Ananda was missing that electric male energy in her life. I think that's what Alchemistic is saying here. And Kwame says now we have Gym Code. Yeah, we got so many codes, challenges, energies that we have to deal with right now. That's why stay in your lane, mind your own business. Your business is to raise the vibration in this temple. If you're out there protesting and dealing with all this stress, your vibration's going to come down unless you really have learned how to manage conflict and triggers and all that. So it's best stay in your lane, mind your own business, raise your vibration, raise your energy, raise your vibe. Meditating, eating better, uh, gardening, nature, walks, exercise. This is your business, not protesting. No, stress level. Somebody got ran over by a truck protesting. Surprise! They're not. They f around and find out is the mode in Florida, especially. They are the sheriffs here put out the word. If you are protesting violently, you're going to get run over. You might like get killed in Florida because they're not playing. No, I'm not risking none of that. So we have a gym code. Kwame says, and Francis says, Kwame, if that's true, females should never give birth because most males in our communities desert their children. Francis, get off the drink. What are you drinking? No, 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 no. Francis, get off the stuff. Whatever you're on, get off, please. Stop. AI mental health causing chat brats. Yes, so much AI, artificial intelligence out there. We're forgetting, like you would say, divine intelligence. Raising a generation of Wi-Fi junk. Absolutely, my grandchildren, everybody. I see the addiction that people have, and we are not going to give up on birthing babies, Francis. No, we're not giving up on birthing babies. I don't think that's what Kwame, his intention was, to what he was saying. Most males in our communities, most males are not deserting their children, but that's what the media is presenting. I know most of the males in this community. Now, if you're talking about Black communities, I don't think that's what percentage. We could talk about what percentage of males are deserting their children. Part of the problem is the women these days. Oh my goodness, these women. They're here's the reason why. Part of the problem is also the women. No present fathers. That's why. So we can't blame the males more than the females today. We need the unity to put the problem out and to get solutions. Put the problem aside. We know what the problem is. No, there have been no present fathers because both the men and the women are mentally out of balance because they did not have fathers who were present. As Ananda is telling us, it goes back to parents not having present fathers, and now the women of today are just loosey goosey, Cardi B type and Beyonce type. They got to take their clothes off and shake their booties and get butt lifts and all that because they didn't have fathers. To me, the father was absent. The father was absent. Black men not abandoning their white babies. Opening up a real can of worms there, Kwame. Why is that? Because we do see a lot of Black men mating with white women and having mixed babies, and they're not abandoning them. Why is that? Why is that? Because we got a mental illness in the community of both men and women, and too much drama, and too much drama in the community because no present fathers. This is the problem. Our generations, our grandparents, too many of them did not have fathers present. As Ananda was 52 years old, so her generation of are suffering. Many in her generation are suffering. Many of her in her generation are suffering because fathers couldn't handle it. Because of divorce. So Francis says, stop blaming females. What happened? Let's just look, Francis. We're not blaming females. We're talking about the dysfunction of both sexes, both race, both sexes. Ananda's parents were both dysfunctional. They both abandoned her. Her mother and her father abandoned her. Her mother came back But the father disappeared and married another woman. But still, the mother abandoned because why? She couldn't handle the pain from the divorce. My mother abandoned me emotionally because she couldn't handle the pain of divorce. So she went into her alcohol. So we've had many generations. We're not blaming the man or the male more than the other, but it's been a problem. Mama AZ says, Happy Dad's Day to my beautiful brothers, brother son, my numbers, brothers, wise medicine, wisdoms. Aho, aho, aho. Hallelujah. Love out to all you brothers, all you women who are struggling, like in the Straw documentary, a whole hour and a half of depression. If you're in that mode, we sending out love, love, love to you. Because Black women married rich white, what is this rich white man, no divorcing money? Huh? What are you all getting in to open another rabbit hole here? Black women married rich white men with no divorcing money. So yeah, this is another dynamic of relationships. Isn't it fun? All these amazing, interesting dynamics. I just say healed souls are marrying healed souls and they're having good relationships. I don't care what color they are. If you're healed and you're healed, male, female, you come together, you're going to probably have a pretty healthy relationship. But the problem becomes when you got one male, one female, and both of them are not healed. They both have inner child trauma that hasn't been healed. They come together, boom, 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 divorce. Boom, 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 divorce. And I don't care what color they are. Doesn't matter about the color. The spiritual energy in these people is broken and it's dysfunctional. So if you haven't healed, that's why I'm saying stay in your lane, mind your own business. Your business is to heal your inner child. Stop trying to get in a relationship and you have not done that. This is what happened with Ananda. This is what Ananda is speaking to us about. Don't get into a relationship like she did. Will Smith's brother, she didn't, I don't think she married him. They keep saying that was her husband. There's no record of that. Will Smith's brother? That was trauma. I'm thinking what went on in that relationship that she even lasted 10 years. But the unhealed, I mean, look at Will Smith. And he was his brother. They had both had the same parents, as far as I know. So if he was the one who wanted to leave Ananda and she's brokenhearted and couldn't handle another rejection from a man, her father rejected her mother. And here comes the man who she gave a child to, and he leaves her too. Doesn't matter what color you are. There's broken spirits, broken energy, broken emotions. That's what it comes down to. Does it matter why there are absent fathers? Fact is, babies are abandoned. Stop encouraging females to have babies. What we're doing, Francis, is encouraging people to have healthy bodies first. I wouldn't discourage anyone from having a baby. Just just heal, stay in your lane, focus on your body, heal your mind, your body, your spirit. That's why I'm here. That's why Zelda is there every Monday morning, mindfulness. We as elders have a responsibility now to help the younger generation to stay in their lane, heal your body. Stay in your lane, heal your soul. Stay in your lane, heal your childhood, heal your inner child. Then you're ready to have babies. But we're not, and we don't want to be narcissists. We can't control when people sleep with other people. That's not our business. But we're here every Monday morning. Zelda's on Higher Learning Network, bringing wisdom and healing and breathing. I'm here Sunday night. I'm here Friday morning. And we're offering some wisdom and advice to avoid the trauma, drama, and the heartache and the pain and suffering as Ananda did. Doesn't matter there, father. Okay. Did I miss your guest? No, uh the guest was Lumumba. We talked about Lumumba, and our guest is Ananda is speaking to us, who has passed on. And Frances will be with me next week if she gets off the drugs. And we elders need damage repair. Yes, 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 yes. Damage repair, healing energy, consciousness raising, healing energy. Yes, all of that. It's therapy time. We elders need therapy, all of us, because all of us had some type of dysfunction in our life, and so we're grateful today that we know we need it. First of all, if you're being triggered into anger and bitterness all the time, healing takes a lifetime. Well, some people some people, great beings, beloveds. Thank you, Regina, Empress Regina, for being here. Uh, some people, healing takes a lifetime if you're not doing the work every day. Otherwise, the healing is not just your daily task is not healing, it's thriving. It's thriving. But right now, detoxing is more the agenda for us because of all the toxic environment. But healing, um, once you recognize you're conscious that you have inner child trauma that's not healed, then you work on that. And at some point, you have peace, you have joy, you have understanding, and you have gratitude, like I did with my own mother and her alcoholism. I'm not healing from that anymore. I send love and respect and gratitude to my mother now. But at one time, I was very sad about the alcohol experience that I had with her. Males, not females, should be heads of household. There should be a partnership. That's how I look at it. There's a spiritual, I look at it, if I were to get in a relationship, or I would encourage any young people, let's have a partnership. Everybody has a role. Each of you have a role in this relationship, marriage, whatever, partner, childbearing. The mother has a role to bear the children. The father has a role to provide and all that. But then you got to talk to your partner about what your roles are. They're not traditional anymore. So I think the head of the household is a debate, or is a conversation. Me personally, that's a conversation that each couple should have as to their roles in this modern day society. I don't know about head of household, but I know partnership has to work. It has to be a partnership so that you get along and you solve problems together. The man can't be coming in, well, I'm going to do it this way, and you don't have anything to say. I think it has to be a partnership. Alchemistic says shadow work, inner child, forgiveness of self and others, mental and physical fasting. That's the whole process of life. And it's constantly forgiveness, because people do things to offend you or hurt you or whatever. But when you practice forgiveness, you heal yourself. Holding on to unforgiveness, you're going to have pain and suffering. The other person not going to be affected. But yes, this is our mission. Shadow work, especially with the inner child, healing that inner child like Ananda did not do. And that's why 52 was the end of her journey, because she had to teach us about healing the inner child. That's what we're doing today. Forgiveness of herself. She may have had some unforgiveness going on too, and mental and physical fasting. Ananda may have needed to do, she did a lot of fasting though in her journey to heal that breast cancer, but I think her emotional, mental fasting, she may have needed to work on that. And Alchemist said, these are jewels you are dropping, sister. And so are you, Alchemistic Gold Mine. Thank you all for your participation tonight, because if we're going to stop the war, each of us are responsible for coming out of our triggers, because that's what's going on over there in Israel. It's a one big trigger over there going on. Israel got offended. We're going to throw a bomb at you. Boom. Iran got triggered. We're going to throw another bomb at you. So they're killing everybody in their pathway. And you know where this is the really sick part about it. Netanyahu is in Turkey, and his children are in other countries, but he is directing his military to kill people in Iran. If that's not Satan, I don't know what is. So we're seeing the triggers. The triggers are reminding us males are absent, so how can there be part? Not every male is absent, Francis. There's a lot of female absent. When I look at some of the videos going on in Walmart with women, I just shake my head. Both male and females are absent these days. I'm not blaming either one more than the other. We have a problem with this generation and with people who are not healing their inner child. That's the focus we're on, Francis. Healing the inner child. We're not blaming anybody anymore. We're just saying we have a challenge before us, especially with our youth, to heal the inner child. This is Ananda's message. Heal the inner child. Prevention is the cure. This is the last thing she said when in her Essence interview, if you missed Friday's show. Prevention is the cure. And so we want to help all our youth, male or female. Neither one of you are more guilty than the other, in my opinion. Your parents were not present. So the value and salvation is in the presence of Father today because it's Father's Day, but it's also in the mothers. Otherwise, we're going to have a real struggle on our hands with this generation to get them mentally balanced and healed and sane. There's a lot of insanity out there, and it's demonstrating in the streets the way people. This is this demonstration. There's a video. People pull out their cameras on airplanes these days quick because there's a lot of drama going on the airplanes. And this one last video before we go. This is a demonstration of how bad women have gotten. This woman, happened to be a woman of color, was cursing out a man on the airplane. Everybody got their cameras out because she's calling him the B word and the F word, and they're filming this. And she's got her cap on, her nightcap on, looking real ghetto, in my opinion. And just cursing him, calling him B and this and F this and black this. This is a woman now, Francis, acting a damn fool on the airplane. And everybody's like, oh my goodness, can we just take off without all this foolishness? And then there was another incident in the airport. Same thing going on. Black women in their nightcaps cursing people out in public. What the hell is wrong with you people? Mental illness. And the same thing going on probably with men, but I just happened to see what are you saying? Call in, Mama AZ. We're not done yet. It's still early. Because I want to finish this conversation so we're all clear about staying in our lane and minding our own business. Another video, I love these videos. People pull out their phones and then they put them up on TikTok or whatever. And people in the airport cursing people out. Why do we have? Because we're triggered. I don't know what Black people are really especially angry right now, because those are most of the videos I see is Black people cursing out, calling men bitches, whatever. It's like the anger is real palpable. People are angry and people are making videos of it. But males are absent. Francis, you said males are absent. We're not talking males are absent, so how can there be partnership? Not all males are absent, but you're talking about the ones that are absent can't be in a partnership. Right, exactly. But the same thing goes for women. The women who are alcoholics, drug addicts, can't be in a partnership because we got this dysfunction going on. And Mama AZ wants to let her voice be heard because she's probably seeing the same insanity that I'm seeing. Mama AZ, your mic is open.
Thank you. Can you thank us? Can you hear me, Dr. V?
Yes, you're loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay, I had the bounty of going to Miracle Valley June the 11th to do my way in ceremony. And for those who do not know where Miracle Valley or whatever, it's in Miracle Valley, Arizona, and it's the Bible college that Reverend A. Allen created. Anyhow, I was out there in prayer, and I was looking around the grounds at my adoptive grandparents, the Howards, and what their space and what Reverend Allen space looks like. And I was thinking to myself, and this came to me in 2020 as well, when I spent a vision quest of 14 days in a tent out there in Miracle Valley at the cemetery for 14 days. But I heard Wednesday that the healing gardens must be put in motion, where, like the resting places that are desolate, and they could use greenery and trees and sacred geometry, statues and so on and so forth. And as you were speaking, I see how necessary it is that we have places all over the planet, Dr. V. Not only can we go and get a sweat or go to the Inipi, we can also stroll in the gardens of beauty and just be and just go within us. And I see this, and I'm so looking forward to Sister Beth sharing about her healing gardens, because it's necessary. And again, family, go within you. Nobody's to blame. Our souls orchestrated this journey on this stage, on this earth plane. Our souls needed these lessons. It's not good, or it's not, it's not, there's no good or there's no bad. It's how we perceive it. And these are the things that we must learn. And I believe that Miracle Valley, that temple, is a starting point for your healing gardens, Sister Beth. I saw it in 2019 and in 2020, and I see it more in sight now.
Yes. And
I do.
yeah, Alchemistic makes a good point. She says we are dealing with unaddressed trauma, generations of it. Generations of unhealed souls passing on this pathology to each successive generation. And that's what Ananda is trying to tell us tonight, is that her parents, even she's 52 years old. So that means there was they were baby boomers.
Yes. And
her parents were baby boomers.
If you add a 52, it's a 7.
Right.
So pay attention, family. We have to be quiet. We have to shut the heck up and listen. And listen. And thank us, Dr. V. You amaze me, special one, dear one, when the things that you come up with in the Lewis. My firstborn is a Lewis.
Oh my goodness.
There's Louis G. Gregory.
Right.
And of the Baha'i Institute. It's a lot of Lewises, and they're all speaking to us, especially if they've crossed over.
Yeah. Howard.
So
Howard's
do the numbers.
Too.
The numbers. Howard's. Yeah. Everybody. So thank us, Dr. V.
Thank us is right. Okay. United Souls, being in unity. And we have one more comment, and then why not heal first instead of constantly adding more trauma by bearing children? You, Francis, I don't know why you're on this, the child not bearing children. People are gonna have children. In fact, I would say that's exactly what we're talking about. Um, People not coming together until they're healed and whole. That's the perfect situation. Both individuals, male and female, not male and male. That's another mental illness problem we have. But perfect situation, both people dealing with their inner child and the traumas from generations, and then you come together. In fact, it would be great if marriage counselors who are counseling these couples before they get married, they do some deep counseling. Like, let's go back to a year of engagement. Don't get married.
Dr. G,
Yes.
may I interject something here?
Go ahead.
I'm not defending Sister Beth and what she's saying, and I'm pretty sure she's not doing the tipsy. I mean, the fire water or whatever, or no gummies. I'm positive about that. But what many do not understand or overstand is that there are many demons that are waiting to be inhabited by those dear ones that come together, and they're not ready. It's gonna take a minute for those dear ones who are able to conceive to do it in a good way, to do it in a right way, because we are in a spiritual battle. And what I was shown a long time ago, and now I get it. They're waiting just to get that hot seat and inhabited that spot. And it's more negative out there right now than it is positive. And because they don't wish to go the love route, and they're just waiting to swoop in like Speedy Gonzalez. And I feel what Sister Beth is saying. Don't just bring these children in and you're not the correct caretaker. And see, a lot of people are having demons. They're having these entities, okay? So what you gonna do about that? And that's my comment.
Well, what we're going to do is not try and control other people's behavior, okay? That's narcissistic to me. I hear what you're saying. I hear what Beth is saying. We're not narcissistic. You're trying to control. And the better you are at healing your inner child, you'll recognize the demons. Trust me. Yeah. But these people are eating all this crap and creating more demons by eating all these poisons and toxins in the food. So yes, I agree with you. I understand what Francis is saying, but we can't control people's behavior. All we can do. No, but I'm saying you're saying she's right. We don't want to bring more children into this world where the demons are possessing people who want to have babies, who are having sex, all this. We don't have any control over that, but we can put out the information and the knowledge and the teaching. For instance, Naima is starting a school of peace, okay? She's supposed to, I think, get that started in September is her goal. And so in that school, we can offer sex education for young people. I think it should start in kindergarten at some level. And so then in that school, we can also have spiritual lessons like you're talking about to help people discern entities and demonic forces and all that, to put the nature. Francis wants to have a nature church next Sunday. So in nature, we got to talk about spirituality. So all these things, Mom AZ, we can talk about, offer, but we can't control people having sex, honey. That's a drug
Oh,
for
oh,
them.
no, Dr. V, please. I'm well aware. I'm well aware of that. You see, I did not, you took that out of context. What I'm saying is, you know, be aware
Yes.
to those who will listen. Be aware that there are those demonic forces that are just waiting there, just peeping you out and saying, okay, almost. And then bam, it's gone before it's too late. But this is why we are here. And this is especially why you and Dr. Lateef are here, because of the information that you can still share. You see, not all of us are privileged like that. You know, they'll cut you off of Facebook in a heartbeat. But it's still, at least you and Dr. Lateef, you know, and Sister Zelda, you still got it rolling, and that's a blessing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Francis says, thank you, Elder Z. Because communication can be, there can be a misunderstanding sometimes. At least we're not texting, but we're trying to understand comments. And then Alchemistic says, many people don't know they are suffering from this. They think it's normal. Absolutely. When you are focusing, when you are focusing on raising your consciousness, what does that involve in your mind, Mama AZ, raising your consciousness?
You go to a higher level of understanding and overstanding that all things are not good or bad. It is just like we're in boot camp here on planet Earth. And when you raise your consciousness on some level, Dr. V, you're going to say, wow, my soul chose this. What in the heck am I supposed to learn from this? You see, you get to a level of thinking that you created this. You know, they're just actors in this game. So what is it that you're supposed to learn? Or what is it that you're supposed to do? That to me is going to a higher consciousness, you see. So being able to even connect with certain people lets me know where my conscious level is, Dr. V. And I give thanks to you, Brother Eddie, you, Brother Kwame, you, my sister, and all of the other sisters that are on the line, and brothers. You see, if Brother Kwame is the main filtering pod, because he's been able to keep me grounded since day one. And it lets you know, family, the people that gravitate to you where your consciousness is. And yes. I give thanks. And you know what I mean? I give thanks, Dr. V, you, Dr. Lateef, everybody. I give thanks, because it lets me know where I am.
And Brother Kwame is in nature more than the average male person, so I think that's why we look to him to have healthy discussions and wisdom and all that, because Alchemistic said this society is not in harmony with nature. So we have conscious members of this village here, like Kwame, who are in harmony with nature, and people are a product of it. He's a product of being in harmony with nature, Alchemistic, Kwame Sunhorse. So those who are not in harmony with nature, who are not grounding, who are not out there talking to birds, who are not spending time out in the woods and all that, they're a product too of disharmony. That's why we don't have unity in the community. because people on their tablets, on their phones, and they're doing everything to not be in harmony with nature. And then
Yeah.
toxins in the food, like exactly Alchemist said, and in the media, mind food. So those people who are not in harmony with nature, spending more time with nature, off the phone, outside, those are the ones we have to discern to communicate on a level. I know it's like communicate with them on a level of almost resistance because they're not in harmony.
And you know what, Dr. V, I've noticed that I don't really mind being alone. Everybody says, well, don't you have support system? Don't you have friends? No. All the people that I said, no. And I'm learning that most 99.5% of the people kind of run from me because I'm so solid in nature and things that are around me. It's like, oh no, I can't deal with this. Oh no, she likes being out there with the bugs. Oh no, oh. And they kind of run, and so especially when they look like you and I.
Oh yeah,
meaning of color.
Yeah.
And it's always been like that all of my life. You know, it people of color think I'm schizophrenic, and that's okay.
Okay, so Francis is saying, Viata, you're intentionally misleading. I stated stop childbearing. I'd like you to elaborate on that because I don't come on here to intentionally mislead anybody. I come on here to share what the Most High has given me. And in this case tonight, I'm sharing what Ananda has shared with us about present fathers. This is what the conversation is mainly about. So if you think I'm intentionally misleading, please elaborate on that because I am reading your comments. I'm not listening to you like Mama AZ is clarifying everything she's saying, but I need you to clarify that, Francis, because I'm not intentionally I don't want to, that would be out of harmony with the unity that I'm trying to promote here tonight. So you can go ahead and elaborate on that if you want. I'm going to show Alchemistic Goldmine says, Francis Harris, that isn't going to happen. People are going to have babies. This is my point right here. This person is in harmony with understanding what I'm saying. People are going to have babies. It's not going to happen. So I don't know why you're on this train ride of babies, no babies, no babies. This has been what you're communicating to me, Francis. No babies. People should not have babies. I don't know how you can stop people from having babies. Whether they come together in consciousness is the question we would like to put out there, but we still can't help stop people from having babies. People are going to have to wake up and are waking up. That's what I'm seeing too. This is what I'm seeing too, is that people are waking up. And that we don't have to go around saying, don't have any babies, don't have any babies, no babies. Elder AZ, Francis is saying, Mom AZ, that you clarified what she meant. I don't know if you did or not, but just stop, get off this focus of no babies, no babies, no babies. That's why I'm not intentionally misleading, but all I'm seeing you comment is that people should not have babies. That's not going to happen. So can you go to the next level of the conversation, Francis, and not talk about people can't have babies? That's not happening. Mama Z, she said you clarified what she meant. Do you understand what Francis is meaning so we can move on and out because it's 10 o'clock?
No, ma'am, I can't. I'm not clear on exactly how I put it where it could be clarified for her. I'm not saying that people shouldn't have babies. Well, they're going to have babies.
Okay, so she's making another statement here. She says, I didn't state stop them. I stated, and she has all caps, so this is serious now. I stated stop encouraging them to. Who is encouraging anybody to have babies when they shouldn't have babies. Who's doing that, Francis? I don't understand why you keep focusing on this. Stop encouraging them to have babies. I don't know that anybody here is encouraging people to have babies when they're not ready, but it's just something that happens.
I know I didn't.
It's just something that happens in life. People are having babies. We can't stop encouraging people to have babies, but we can. I see Republicans. Oh, now I get it. Her answer is Republicans are encouraging people to have babies. Here we are. We got to the bottom of this. And I think what I believe what's happening in the government is people are saying stop having abortions. That's what the issue is. Black people have been having abortions more than any other race of people. And now I think Francis doesn't want the Republicans encouraging the opposite. Have babies, not abortions. Because that has been the issue in politics and with Kamala and the left. Don't tell us we can't have abortions. We can kill our babies if we want. That's been the debate, right? I think that's where we are now with this don't have babies, don't encourage people. She's saying the Republicans are guilty of encouraging people to have babies when some people don't need to have babies. I think that's where we are, which is okay. Let's say again, that's why I say don't pay any attention to what the Department of Government, Washington D.C. is saying. Corruption in D.C. I don't care whose mouth it comes from. They're all corrupt, in my opinion. Focus on the community that we're in right now, the conscious community we are in right now, where we are trying to help people be conscious first, not Republican or Democrat. We don't give a damn about what party, because that's corrupt. But we're encouraging people here tonight with your help to, first of all, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane means don't worry about all these people driving to suicidal rate, driving to protest, driving to drugs, don't worry about. Stay in your lane. What is your purpose here on earth? This is your lane. What are you doing? What are you here to do? And then mind your own damn business. Stop meddling in all these other people's business, protesting. That's not your business. If you're raising your consciousness, your business is to, number one, learn how to eat better. Number two, pray more, meditate more. Number three, spend time in nature. And number four, stop being triggered by what people say about you and all that. And yeah, let's stop having all these damn abortions. I'm all for that. We've had enough killing babies. I'm not for abortions at all. I'm for teaching. In fact, I would say in the community of the village of tiny houses and consciousness, we need to train doulas and midwives. This is my focus in the School of Peace. Let's train doulas and midwives so that as a doula, from day one, when you find out I'm pregnant, this day one, first month, you start counseling women and their partner about how to bring in a healthy child and have a healthy delivery. This is my school of thought. And I think that's where Naima Latif is going with her School of Peace, is to put in place all these classes and education and training that we didn't get with the government education system or the public school, but a consciousness school that raises doulas and midwives and teaches from a very young age how to have healthy partnerships, healthy relationships, so that we can start having healthy families and present fathers. So I think that's I think that's where we are, and that's where we're going to end this show tonight. I'm surprised we did 2 hours tonight, but I'm grateful for all the conversations that help us raise our thoughts and minds to be creators of something better. And as I said, Wars and rumors of wars. The things are gonna heat up in the Middle East because they got a plan, a stupid plan, insane plan to kill more people, and the vampires are shedding more blood. That's what they do. But stay in your lane, mind your own business, and you won't have the stress level increasing as we hear more rumors of war, and more bloodshed and more deaths, more deaths, more deaths. Military industrial complex. They love the death. So breathe in, everybody, breathe in with me. Give thanks, give thanks, give thanks. And breathe out all the fear, unforgiveness. Breathe out all the jealousies, all the division. Breathe it out. Inhale love, inhale peace, joy, and forgiveness. Ooh, hallelujah, hallelujah. Give thanks for every day that we wake up and we people are talking and protesting for peace and freedom in America. Go over to Israel and Iran. And then, if you don't like what's going on here, at least we don't have bombs dropping on it. That's the thing that disturbs me about protesting in America for peace and freedom. Somebody, well, they're taking away our rights and they're bringing in tyranny. Go to Iran. Go to Israel. In fact, this is a funny story. The Kardashians' father, the one who became a woman, he's stuck over there in a bunker. People went over to Israel thinking it was safe. Now they're stuck. They're stuck in bomb shelters and bunkers because of the war that has developed. I don't know, for the life of me, I don't know why anybody would go to Israel at this time of the year season, but that's what they did. They went to Israel and now they're all stuck in bunkers and they might lose their life because Iran ain't playing, Russia's not playing. This is gonna heat up, and I'm just saying, everybody, mind your business. And then it ain't the government, and it's not the war. It's you, the kingdom of the Most High, maintaining and building up. This is your business. This is from the village, the village here, and pray for all our brothers and sisters. Yes, Zelda says pray for all our brethren in Israel. I've been doing that for so long, Zelda. I don't have anybody personally over there, but I have other friends who have friends in Israel, and we've been praying for them for sure. But I don't know why everybody didn't get out of Israel at this point. I'm praying for them, but I think it was a little stupid of you to stay there when you didn't read the tea leaves about what was going on all this time. But I'm still praying and believing and hoping that they're safe. But, so, Mama AZ, thank you for sharing your wisdom and knowledge, and thank all of you. Join Zelda tomorrow morning, Higher Learning Network on YouTube, and everybody promote peace, joy, and forgiveness and laughter while we watch the war go on over there across the ocean. So, and I'm gonna say good night. Love you. Namaste, Sat Nam, and Shalom.